STAR is a teen peer leadership group designed to educate teens, students regarding teen dating abuse. It encompasses the education of warning signs, types of abuse, how to refer a friend.
As part of the STAR group, we reach out to teens in the community by putting up posters and flyers at the YMCA, the library.
The reason that the STAR group is effective here in White Plains is because the teens are speaking to other teens. It's better perceived from one teen to another, and as myself as an adult and an authority figure talking to young people.
It's important for communities to get the information out there, because if they don't know, then nobody's going to reach out for help. Teens aren't going to just volunteer their information if they don't know where to go and they don't feel safe talking to just anyone.
We set up tables in the mall and we provide literature to anybody walking by. It's a great way to reach out to the community, and they do it on Saturday afternoon, where the most likely time for teens to be going to the mall. The most popular item that we give out is the Love Shouldn't Hurt palm cards.
Well, I'm available here at the school anytime that one of the teachers or the students, they would like me to engage in either presentation or doing workshops. More than happy to do that. We gave them resources that they could tap into, that if they were a victim, that they could go to, they can actually call up a hotline and they could speak to someone, not giving their names, but just receive information.
If the community is trying to develop some kind of a program to outreach to teenagers, specifically teenagers that have been victims of crime, they do need to develop a relationship of some kind with local law enforcement. I make lots of school visits. If you want children to be accessible to you, you've got to go to where kids are in that schools.
The beauty of multidisciplinary partnerships is that people can learn from each other. Youth development professionals can teach victim service providers all about adolescent development so that they can make their services particularly effective. Victim service providers can teach people in schools and after-school programs what it means to be a victim of crime and what that impact is. Then everybody can help teenagers as effectively as possible.
We put together a threat share committee, which is counselors, administrators, department chairs, who would come together every Thursday before school started to meet and converse about various students we were seeing, behavioral changes, dress changes, so that we could, on an appropriate basis, meet with those students, make referrals to our program set up by SafePlace to make sure they were getting the services that they need, or just to let them know that there's someone out there willing to listen to them.
We provide a lot of training and consultation with agencies that serve youth.
And how to get help for themselves or their friends who might be in prison.
We work with the Extended Care, which provides after-school services for kids and summer programs. The partnership with Out Youth is very important because we know that the gay, lesbian, and transgendered youth are at higher risk for being victimized than others. We work closely with the Boys and Girls Clubs, with the Austin PTA, and with other agencies in our community that work on violence issues.
Communities in Schools is a nonprofit social work agency that is nationwide. I have a very close relationship with the police on campus and in the community. The SRO officer and I, work very closely together. We have had the community police come in and they've done a presentation on bullying and sexual harassment and domestic violence and talked to the different programs on campus about what needs we may have. They've worked with our parent liaison to come up with some programs targeting prevention of violence and various topics.
There are other teens that are out there that are victims that are not reporting incidents, and we want to reach all the teens. We don't want any young person to be left out there and not feel that there are resources available to them.
There are a variety of reasons that an adolescent may not come forward when they're being victimized in some way. I think a barrier that is society-wide is that our society often blames the victim. If they have been drinking or using drugs at the time that the victimization occurred, there are real worries that people will say, you got what you asked for, or you shouldn't have been at this place, or you should not have been doing that. So often they're afraid to tell their parents, and certainly are hesitant to come to law enforcement. They may think that they're going to be punished or arrested.
If a child makes a disclosure to you, he or she trusts you. So you need to know how to respond in an effective manner. You should listen, believe that child, ask them what they need to feel safe, and ask them how you can help them.
You can't just open out just to anyone, even if you've known them all your life. So you want to be able to have that one person reach out to you.
We cast the net kind of wide to attract as many kids who have had any form of victimization at all to participate, because we know those kids are at greater risk for being victimized again and for using those abusive behaviors in their own relationships.
I was walking through school and I had seen the flyers around, and finally I walked up and paid attention to it, and I read it, and everything just was true about my life, about my relationship. And so I ran into the counselor and I was like, I need to sign up for this.
I was talking to one of my English teachers, and she really just realized how much that I go through.
The whole school's safety is going to be compromised when there are kids on the campus that need help and can't get it.
Whenever I get mad at my house and I can't really, hit my mom or anything, so I want to take it out at school.
One of the recommendations I would like to make for other administrators is to go out into your community and look to see if there's a group such as SafePlace that can come in and assist both your staff, your community, your students in training them on what are the signs and assisting them, educating them that kind of abuse, sexual harassment, domestic violence, being battered in the home is not acceptable behavior, and that is not something that is the norm. And there's assistance in stepping out of those situations if you can't get out yourself. And these groups are there to educate and to help, but we must go out and find them.
It's just unbelievable, the response that we're getting now from the high schools, where back 4.5 years ago, the response was, well, you know what, it really isn't happening in my school, so you don't really need to come in and do a presentation. Now, schools are calling us at the beginning of the school year saying, please come in.
The support at school is what made me survive. I would probably still be doing that, and it would be worse.
Being in the group has helped me realize that it's not my fault, that it was his fault.
Teachers are not only there to instruct them for 50 minutes a day. We're here as a family, and we have to take care of each other.
I stopped cutting because I have something else to do about it and not have to do that to make the pain go away.
We want to stop the victimization right then and there. If we continue to let it go on, all right, this thing will continue to grow and grow. And they will turn around, they will start victimizing other people.
If there is an angry situation at my house, I can learn just to blow it off and focus on the most important thing, which is school.
He's no longer a part of my life except for a bad memory.
We know this is a critical time to intervene. It's a situation where a little bit of help goes a long way.
When I think of the resources available in our communities, and you add the power of teenagers who really want to make their communities safer places to live, it's a pretty unbeatable team.
It took a while for me to learn and actually accept that people have actually been through the same things I have. I just wish that they would have had a group like this sooner. Not just because something happened, but because things happen every day.